Hi everyone, I'm Zedius, and let's get into our episode number 3. We have some do's and don'ts for you. So when you log in, your icon up here, your profile picture, may be a blank picture. So you can click on that space, and in here you're going to see the Come to Us Hive button. Click on that. It will load their website. Now from here, this is just like some forms. You can click this back arrow, and then you will have the 3 lines. You can select that, select profile, then you can click on edit picture here, and you can select photo album and choose the picture that you would like to use. Once it comes in, a lot of people get confused here. They just hit this back arrow. You actually need to go down and save the changes. Then you can go back and select back to game at the top. Go ahead and close that. Now every day when you log in, or even while you're playing, you will eventually have more than one of these little fountains. You can collect your blue mana crystals. There we got 250. Up here you can see I have 110,000 mana crystals. Mana crystals are very, very important. Both crystals are both important. The mana crystals and the red crystals. The mana crystals are used for all sorts of things in the game, and the red crystals are used for basically real money type transactions. And you get a ton of the red gems for free just by playing the game. So don't spend these. This is a don't spend these frivolously. One of the biggest things that you'll see is when you have a monster and you have runes, you can power up those runes, and this costs 225. Every time this rune levels up, it's going to cost more to power it up. And getting from 1 to 6 is level 1 on the rune to level 6 on the rune does not hurt too bad. But when you're going from level 12 to level 15, which is the max on the rune, plus 15, that can hurt. And if you notice, just as a bit of knowledge, at level 3, at level 6, at level 9, and level 12, the rune will either roll a new stat, or it will add a bonus to a stat that's already on the rune, which we'll have a total rune guide coming out later. But that's why before it was gray, it turned green at level 3. At level 6 it would turn blue, at level 9 it will turn purple, at level 12 it will turn orange. So it got a 1% to crit. These runes are very low. They're not worth investing in. But as you roll those runes higher, you will use the mana crystals or the blue crystals to use those. So you don't want to roll any rune, especially early rolling runes or improving runes. You only want to do that to the proper or the best runes that you can get. Another thing you can use your mana runes for is summoning. You will need scrolls to summon with, but even if I use a scroll here, it still costs 300 mana crystals. If I was to get a mystical scroll, it costs 10,000 mana crystals. A legendary scroll is about 50,000, I believe, mana crystals, which we don't have any. And even when you use exclusive summons, which we'll get into later, that costs mana crystals. So mana crystals are very important to keep. I like to keep over 1,000,000 mana crystals on my main account at all times in case I get a new rune that I want to use right away. I have enough mana to at least get it to plus 12, if not a little higher, right away. And I try to keep it above 1,000,000. You also want to check in your magic shop and see if there's any cheap monsters. Like we are going to be building Shannon and probably Konamiya, which Shannon is the wind pixie and Konamiya is the water, not sure the subclass of him. Anyways, Konamiya, he is the water bird, as we'll call him. It's the first time I've opened this on this device, so it's got to load all these pictures. Water Garuda, there we go. So we're going to be building him, but if we can buy some of him, later you'll learn about skill ups. If we can buy some, those are very cheap skill ups. They might be in the magic shop. So skill ups are very important, so keep your eye out for the wind pixie skill ups, and you can use any element of that base type. So any pixie would be able to skill up Shannon, which Shannon is the one we're going to want to get, and we actually get her, I believe, for free with some of the quests that we're going to do. So if you find any Shannons in the shop, you can purchase them and use them for fodder or power-ups. And when you power up the monster with its base type, so any of the pixies could be used to power up Shannon, she will gain skills. She will gain levels on her skills. And so right now she only has 2 skills. When she becomes awakened, she gets a 3rd skill. And right now this skill is only reusable in 5 turns, but as we power it up, it will actually lower the amount of turns needed until the skill comes ready again. So keep your eye out for skill ups for your 2-star monsters magic shop. Another thing you're going to want to do is every day do your daily missions, and you can click on them and it'll tell you what you need to do. Power up a rune 3 times. I've already done that today because I did it during the video. The next, you just run through the list and do it. This one here, this building friendships, sending social points to friends and showing off your friends. Fight with a friend. That's not actually fighting against them, that's fighting with them. And so you will do that underneath battle, choosing your dungeon, and by adding the rep monster, which you can only have 1 of, by adding the rep monster, that is fighting with your friend. So you can add them to the group and do that 3 times with the rep monster. That will enable you to clear that mission. When you clear all the missions, then you will get all daily missions completed. Very important to come in here and gift the social points. It gifts those to those people, and as your friends list fill up, they will gift you. And come in here and get your energy from your mentor program. Another thing is very important, don't spend your crystals on summoning. This here is a mystical summons. If you had 75 crystals, you could summon a 3 to 5-star monster. Don't do that. Your red crystals are good for refilling your energy bar, and you need energy to level your guys, farm runes, farm mana stones. Don't waste it on summons. Late game you can. Right now we need to focus on farming giants B10, and if we waste our crystals on non-essential things, it's just going to slow down our progression. The next thing that you can accidentally or on purpose waste crystals for is if you are in a dungeon and you fail that dungeon, it's going to ask you if you would like to revive. And reviving costs 10 crystals. There is only one time in the game that you would want to use the revive, and that is if you are at floor B9 and you're at the team that you've built is at an elemental disadvantage. Chances are you're not going to be able to beat floor B9. So if you're at the boss stage and he's more than halfway dead, you can use revive to power through the stage. Because B10, your team will be at an elemental advantage. So it could cost 10 crystals to revive, and I might continue down the board. But it costs 30 crystals to refill my whole energy bar and get full energy back. So in 3 revives, I've just wasted a whole energy bar of crystals. So it's not worth it unless you're trying to power through a stage just to get to the next stage. And the first time you beat a stage, you will get 5 crystals back. So if you're at Giants B9 and you're just powering through and you only use 1 revive, it's technically only going to cost you 5 crystals because you're getting, it's costing you 10, but you're getting 5 back at the end of the stage. And I haven't done any progression since the last video, which I'm going to start working on that now. But those are just a couple of do's and don'ts. To recap, we want to save our red crystals. We want to save our mana crystals and not waste them. We want to keep focused on not summoning monsters right now. If you did buy the legendary starter pack and you summoned a really awesome monster, that's great. I'm going to remain free to play. You can search those monsters and see if they're worth building. But it's probably going to deter your focus. Even on my big account, I have probably 5 or 6 6-star or natural 5-star monsters. They're just sitting in storage because I'm not ready to build those guys yet. So I don't waste any resources, energy, or time on those guys. And some of them are really great. Like I have Rakan and Camilla, and you'll get familiar with those names over time. But those are great units. I'm just not ready with where I am with my game to use them. You can actually real fast go into monster and go to collection, and you can look at all the monsters, whether you have them or not. If you have them, they'll be highlighted, or have you've seen them. This one's a really good monster, this Fire Harpoo. This is Colleen. If you click up there, it will show you her awakened version, and you can hold down over their skills and it tells you what they do. Now the difference in this screen is it doesn't show you what skill ups are going to do. So right here it just tells us this is reusable in 5 turns. If you want to see what skill ups are going to do, sorry, I like my box like that. You can click on your monster and go to skill. So we'll look at Lapis here, and every time I get a skill up, now when you power up a monster using the same monster or a Devilmon, that is going to give you a skill up, and it will improve skills. You cannot choose where that skill up goes, so it will randomly skill up the next level. So if it picked skill 1, and you can do 5 Devilmon at once and it'll skill up 5 times, or you could feed 4 other Magic Knights to Lapis, which I wouldn't do unless you had duplicates. But Lapis really doesn't need a lot of skill ups to do what we need her to do. She wasn't even in the game originally. They included her later to help new players kind of catch up a little bit. So we're going to lean on her ability to do that. So her skills would get level 2. It would add 5% more damage to that skill. This one's reusable in 3 turns. It doesn't give us any reduction. And this is reusable in 3 turns. It doesn't give us any reduction. Just to show you, double attack here right now is reusable in 3 turns. But if we got it fully leveled up, at level 5, it would only need every 2 turns this skill would become usable. So that's kind of how that works. That's not really on topic for our video, but we got into it and we're just learning here. So other than that, a couple other quick settings. If you go under your profile and go to options, you can adjust the music. So if you play at work, or nobody should play at work, you can turn the music off. You can turn the sound down just so it's lower. I would recommend everybody turning this boss animation off. That will speed up the end of your runs. I will only play with this device while it's on power, but if you wanted to save energy on your battery, you can turn that on. I don't know exactly what it does. I'm not sure if it even works, but on my phone I leave that on. Now I do like reduced quality because I don't really care what it looks like. I just want it to run smoother. The ending notice here is an amazing feature. I played for a year without even having it on, and what that does is it will make your phone vibrate or your device vibrate and when it's done with the board. So if you're not even watching, if you just got it in your lap and you're watching some TV, instead of having to look down every couple of minutes, you'll just feel the vibration. You'll know you're done with the board. You can check what you got, and there you go. If you don't want push notifications to bug you, you can turn that off here, and that way the game won't bug you when your energy's full, yada yada yada. I leave that on because if my energy's full, I know I want to log in and at least use some, because once your energy gets full, it's not going to keep going. So I did make some changes. It's going to tell me the game needs to reboot, which I'll do after the video. Again, I appreciate you guys watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and we'll keep moving forward with the series. Thank you, and have a great day.